When you ask someone for help, do you send the gift first or after? Let me give you one example, and you'll get it right away. Lucas was not a great talker, but every single time he went to his boss's house, he brought 2 boxes of fruit. Because of that, the boss handed him a special project and let him give it a try. Lucas got the project, lived up to his boss's expectations, and made $500,000. But then Lucas transferred $400,000 to his boss's parents. Over the following year, Lucas kept giving gifts to his boss, kept following closely behind him, and in just 1 year, he bought a house, bought a car, and made more than $5 million on top of that. Then Lucas said that to thank his boss for cultivating him, he wanted to give $4 million of that right back to him. You can imagine what happened next. Lucas instantly became his boss's right-hand man. After that, Lucas made more money year after year. At his promotion dinner, a server mistakenly took Lucas for the boss. The server looked at Lucas and said, "Sir, your private room is on the 2nd floor." The boss laughed, patted Lucas on the shoulder and said, "Well, I didn't expect you to look even more like the boss than Chew." Lucas smiled and said, "Come on now, I report to him and you lead me." This server is pretty sharp. He even knows you're not supposed to report across the chain of command. The boss burst out when he heard that. You think that's where it ends? Not even close. What comes next is even crazier. Lucas wanted to open his own store and start a business. He saw a shop space in a great location that was up for rent. So he got an idea, picked up a brick, smashed one of the windows, and left a note saying he had accidentally broken it and asking the landlord to contact him for compensation. The next day, the landlord called him. Lucas successfully skipped the middleman and signed the lease directly with the landlord. But Lucas had no experience running a shop, and he wasn't even sure what kind of business would be best for that location. So instead of opening right away, he hung up a for rent sign again. A lot of people started calling to ask about the place. Pretending to be the landlord, he asked every potential renter what kind of business they planned to run there. Obviously, nobody was suspicious of what sounded like a normal landlord's question. In the end, out of all the business ideas people mentioned, he picked the one that came up the most. And just like that, the business took off. But only a few days after opening, Lucas discovered that the head chef was stealing ingredients from the kitchen. Lucas wanted to fire him on the spot. The problem was the chef was really talented. If he replaced him too suddenly, it would definitely affect the dishes and the flavor of the restaurant. Putting cameras in the kitchen would not have cost much either, but it would have made the chef feel like he was being targeted from day one. Lucas thought it over, had a flash of inspiration, and came up with a different move. A few days later, he invited the head chef into his office. He politely poured him a cup of coffee and gave him a gift bag filled with premium coffee, good liquor, and some health supplements. Then he said, "Marcus, you've been one of the longtime people in this place. A couple of days ago, some staff reported that you were taking ingredients from the back kitchen, and I told them, no way. I said Marcus is definitely not that kind of person. I figured maybe something difficult is going on at home. So, as you can see, I prepared a little something for you here. And there's another $3,000 to help you get through the emergency." After hearing that, the head chef was overwhelmed with shame, and from that moment on, he was deeply grateful to Lucas. The most powerful thing in this world is not money, and it's not power either. It's a way of thinking. If you always feel like you're too honest, too straightforward, and you don't know how to handle problems in a smart way, then I really recommend you read people skills. In a time when emotional intelligence matters more than IQ, learning how to read people and deal with them is a real discipline, because making money means constantly dealing with people. But here's the problem. Nobody teaches you how to truly understand people's minds. Schools don't teach it. Books don't explain it. Seminars don't bring it up either. You can master every strategy and learn every skill, but if you can't see through the person sitting across from you, then you're basically unarmed, and you'll lose far more than you win.
Why can't we tax billionaires? Because technically they have no money, they only have stocks. And since these stocks haven't been sold for cash, they're unrealized gains, and the government can't tax a gain that hasn't happened yet. So billionaires don't have the money, but they're worth the money. But here's the question. If they have no money, how do they buy stuff? If Elon Musk wants to buy Twitter for $44 billion, he won't sell his Tesla shares to get the cash. That would trigger a massive tax bill and tank his company's stock price. Instead, he goes to banks and private equities to ask for a loan. But $44 billion is a big loan. The bank would ask, what are they lending it against? Elon Musk says, well, of course, my Tesla stocks. So you can buy a thing based on what you have in stocks, but you can't get taxed on it because you haven't sold them. It's a game all billionaires play, whereas if you earn your money in a salary, your money just gets taxed. If you're not following Rich's lore, this is probably goodbye. If you are, welcome to seeing wealth differently.